But it's a dirty deal, Frank. It's no good they're asking you to say you did something you didn't do.
John, please, don't get so excited. Lower your voice. Sit down. I'm having a hard enough time understanding all of this.
Well, what's so difficult to understand? The Ethics Committee of the United States Senate is suggesting to Frank that he resign from public office because there's a suspicion that he was influence peddling. Now, damn it, if you resign, Frank, it's the same thing as admitting that you did peddle influence, which he didn't, and they know you didn't. And will somebody please tell me what's so ethical about that?
They don't know that I didn't do it.
Look, you mark my words. You'll resign from the Senate, Frank. And who's gonna know that you didn't help put that man on the commission in return for political favors?
Who believes me now? Di, it is a beautiful frame. All the evidence clearly says that I'm guilty. Now, I can get up in front of the Ethics Committee and swear that I'm not until I am blue in the face, but I can't prove it. I'll be censured. They'll publicly request my resignation. The government will bring charges, and I'll probably go to jail.
And what happens if you resign?
If I resign, I spare the party, the Senate, and the country any further scandal. They will not bring charges. They'll let me go home quietly, and they'll probably leave me alone.
You mean they're offering you a deal?
That's right. And I honestly think they believe that it's the best thing for me and for the country.
How long do you think you've got to decide, Frank?
Well, the sooner the better. The hearing is scheduled in 2 weeks, so I guess any time before then.
What do you think you're gonna do, son?
I don't know. Obviously, I don't want to quit under pressure. But if there is any hope of finding out who set me up for all of this, I sure as hell can't pursue it in jail. And the idea of putting you and Ma and the rest of the family and Jill and Jono, putting all of you through a trial, it's more than I can think of right now. Except I didn't do it, and I should not have to give up the Senate for something I did not do. But...
Son, what does Jillian say to all of this?
Well, she hasn't heard the latest from the Ethics Committee, but part of her will want me to slug it out. Part of her will be very happy if I resigned. I can understand that.
You know, there really is something else to think about.
What's that?
Well, this thing gets more complicated every day that it goes on. I mean, whoever it is that's done this to you is not only clever, but they know us well enough to be able to make it look like Jillian is the one who sent the evidence to Jack.
Yeah.
It makes me just wonder what's going to happen next. John Ryan, when did you start that again?
Just now. And it's only one, so stop nagging at me, will you? And in answer to your other question about what's going to happen next, I think maybe Frank ought to take a look at the latest issue of In the News.
Oh, my
What?
God. Is he guilty? Did she turn him in pictures? You know, this is getting to be unbelievable.
Oh.
It is so unfair. Now, I can understand maybe somebody wanting me out of the way bad enough to go through all the trouble of setting me up, but why bring Jill into it? I can't defend her, I can't marry her, I can't even protect her.
You know, that's it. That's what I get the feeling, that it would be easy for both of you if you could be married and stand up together as husband and wife and tell them all where to go with this part of the scandal. Seneca, he just does not love Jillian enough. Not what he'd like other people to believe, anyway. I mean, how could he put her through this?
I wonder if they know. Who's ever responsible for this? What they've done. All the years of hard work, all the sacrifices, all the fine plans. You're just beginning, Frank. There's so much you can do.
Oh my God, what a waste.
Come in. Oh, am I? I was just reading about you. And Jillian.
Well, unfortunately, that's only the beginning. There's going to be more.
Well, listen, you get your hand caught in the cookie jar.
Nobody caught me in anything, Seneca. That whole influence peddling charge is a setup.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm not guilty of that any more than Jill is of sending those so-called incriminating documents to Jack Finelli.
Yeah, well, anonymous letters aren't exactly Jill's style, I'll admit that. But listen, for the rest of it, you're not the first politician to get caught in tripping over his own ambition.
All right, look, you can go ahead and laugh at me. I can't blame you for that. But the reason why I'm here is I am not alone in this. Jill is in a very humiliating position, Seneca.
Yeah. So I've noticed.
Then you've also noticed that this trash is only the beginning. She's going to be called my mistress, my live-in lawyer friend, the doctor's wife caught in adultery with a public figure. All of that and more, Seneca. None of it nice.
Sounds about right.
Well, I don't want that. And I find it hard to believe that you do either.
Now, for once, we're in agreement. I don't.
Well, then what I'm hoping is that you'll change your position and give her the divorce.
In a word, no.
That's all the consideration you're going to give it.
That's all it deserves.
Look, I am trying very hard to keep my temper with you. I am trying to get in contact, in touch, with whatever caring feelings you might still have for Jill. Seneca, she doesn't deserve to be dragged through this kind of mud.
Then why are you involving her, Frank?
If she and I were married, it would put her out of this scandal.
Who were you kidding? Huh? She'd be the wife of the senator disgraced. Senator who sold out. Senator imprisoned. She still plays second fiddle to your political career. If that comes tumbling down, whatever else you get involved in.
Jill isn't second fiddle in my life to anything, and you know it. She's first in every way.
Yeah, and on a lot of front pages, too. You know, I cannot begin to tell you what a pleasure it is for me to see you getting the kind of publicity you deserve. In my book, you are a totally corrupt, self-serving person, and I will do anything I can to keep Jill from marrying you.
Seneca, you can delay us. That's all. You can't stop us.
There's no divorce in New York except for cause. Cruelty, abandonment, desertion, adultery. And I have not given Jill cause, and you damn well know that.
You could give her a separation.
Why? So she can get more involved with you?
So we can be married and put an end to this kind of publicity and this malicious gossip.
Hey, listen, you can put an end to that anytime you want. Just stop seeing her.
I'm beginning to realize how right Jill is about you. You are controlling. You are arrogant, and you can posture yourself from here to the George Washington Bridge about protecting her. But the truth is, you don't give a damn about Jill. The fact is, your nose is still out of joint because she left you, and that's all any of this is about, Seneca.
Now, you listen. Without my help, you won't ever marry Jillian. And you're never going to, Frank.
I never say never.
As for protecting her against scandal, it's my opinion that the only person you're really concerned with protecting is yourself.
You know, how can you claim to love her?
You'll never marry her, Frank.
We'll make sure you get an announcement. Don't get up.
There's ice in the bucket, and I've made you a wonderful dinner, if it didn't fall. Would you eat a souffle that didn't exactly souffle?
Delia, what's going on?
Nothing. I'm showing you I can be a good wife. I'm making an effort to please you.
Come on, Dee, you're nervous as a cat.
Well, the way you've been picking on me, nothing I do is right. Who wouldn't be nervous? Was that the phone?
No.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Is it the commodities?
No! Oh, I'm just a little edgy, that's all.
Well, is it the collapse of your great scheme with Pat and Nancy and Adam?
What collapse?
Well, Nancy didn't take up with Adam Cohen, and she left town instead. Pat went after her, and they're both in San Antonio.
They are? Boy, nobody tells me anything anymore.
Well, obviously, you're not upset about that little news item.
Well, you never believed it when I told you before I got over Patty a long time ago.
No. And what I don't believe at this moment is that you aren't nervous about something.
I don't know why you say that.
I'm naturally suspicious. Now, do you want me to answer that?
No. Let's just let it ring.
It might be the hospital.
Well, I'd better answer it then. Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Coleridge.
Oh, hi.
Delia, I'm sorry to be calling you at home, but the news on your investment in wool just came in, and it is not good. I think we should consult at the earliest possible opportunity.
Oh, no.
Perhaps tonight, if you have a few minutes.
Who is it?
Gee, I'd really like to be of help. It's St. Aloysius looking for a volunteer.
You're not alone.
That's right. I'm sorry. St. Aloysius has always meant so much to me, but there just isn't any way that I can give any time tonight, especially on such short notice.
Tomorrow, then? I'll meet you at the corporate department at 11.
I'm not sure about that at all.
Now, the way wool is falling, it's absolutely essential we consider your situation. Don't make any plans for lunch. We'll eat in.
I don't think I can do that. I'm very sorry, but...
Tell her to get off the phone.
If the market continues in its present unstable condition, Delia...
I understand, but I have other responsibilities.
Well, perhaps I better call you again tomorrow, when you can speak more freely. Now, we really mustn't postpone getting together.
Look, do you want me to tell her to leave you alone?
Of course. I do want to help if I can. Would you excuse me now, though, please? I have a pot boiling over on the stove.
Persistent lady.
Yes.
But it's not anything to get that upset about.
No, of course not. Roger. You know how much I love you.
More than I deserve, I'm sure.
I really can't stand the way things are between us. Can't we... Please, let's try to fix them.
Well, that's a new tack after weeks of barely being noticed in the room. What with your constant preoccupation with your commodities or the Ryans?
You can be really mean sometimes. I just said something nice and you answer like that.
I am being truthful, as we agreed we would both always be.
You're nagging, and I don't remember ever agreeing to that.
Delia, where'd you ever get the idea that I enjoy being scolded?
Probably the same place you got the idea I enjoy being nagged. Roger, I made these canopies to show you how much I care.
These, come frozen.
I warmed them. Oh, what's the use? There's no pleasing you.
Oh, on the contrary, Delia, we both know what a pussycat I am when I'm thoroughly appreciated, but after weeks of being generally ignored and neglected, I find it very difficult to respond enthusiastically to one tray of frozen canapes that weren't in the oven quite long enough.
Well, you've been taking mean lessons.
It comes to me naturally.
So I have a little trouble with the timer on the oven sometimes, but that doesn't mean I'm not making an effort. Which is more than you can say.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's all my fault, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
I'll deal with her.
No, I'll get it.
Yep. Hello.
Roger?
Yes, this is Dr. Coleridge. It's not St. Aloysius.
I'm sorry if I'm disturbing you.
Oh, not at all. What seems to be the problem?
Oh, misery, just general misery. Do you think by any chance you could come over here?
Are you feeling any better?
The only thing that's going to make me feel any better is to find out whoever did this thing and just wring their neck.
John, may I suggest that, at the risk of losing my head, that cigarette is not helping any.
All right, lady, will you just please let it alone?
John, I can't help it. I mean, it breaks my heart to see you start that up again when I know what torture it was for you to quit.
Well, now, look. They're my lungs. I mean, they're my nerves. Please, allow me the pleasure of deciding what they need and what they don't need.
Well, if they didn't need them for the last 4.5 years, I don't see any reason why they need them now.
Lady, I'm asking you to let it be, huh? Please?
All right, all right. I won't say another word.
Hey, I'm sorry I yelled.
It's all right. I'm sorry I nagged.
All right, now, you don't have to worry about a thing. I mean, it's just the one pack. And it's just to get me over the next couple of days. I'm not going to start up again, I promise.
All right.
So angry, I forget to breathe. I'm not that frozen.
I know, darling.
Frank deserves everything he's got, and more. Ever since he was a little one, he's made us proud of him. He's worked his tail off. He set standards for himself, and he stuck to them. I'd stake my soul on the fact he never willingly committed a dishonest act in his life.
I think you're right about that.
He hasn't peddled influence, and he hasn't sold out to anyone. And the idea that somebody could frame him and get away with it makes me sick.
Francis is going to be all right, dear. Stop worrying about him. I mean, there may be some trouble around the corner. I've no doubt about it. And he may lose the Senate seat. And some people who don't know him the way we do may believe these terrible stories that are going around. But none of that is terribly important, really. They can't get at him. They can't touch the person he is. Man and child, almost since the hour he was born, darling. Francis has had 2 or 3 very grand gifts. His sweetness, his generosity with other people, and his hope. And that's not going to change. They can't hurt him, John. He'll be fine.
I'm sorry to bother you at home, but I really do think this qualifies as an emergency.
Well, what seems to be the problem?
Dealey's there and you can't talk.
That's correct.
Oh, damn it, Roger. I really need you.
Well, look, why don't you give me some details over the phone?
Well, if you can believe it, I seem to be having a guilt attack. At least I think that's what it is. I can't be sure. I'm not that familiar with guilt as an emotion. But I do know that I'm as miserable as I've ever been in my whole life.
I see. And when did the symptoms begin?
Well, I spent most of last night thinking about all the things you said to me yesterday, and you were right about all of them. How could I do it to him?
Look, I'm afraid that you're the one that has to make that analysis.
There's so much promise, and it's such a shame. What the hell was I trying to prove?
I don't know.
If I could do it all over again, Roger, if I could go back, I'm so sorry.
Well, look, wouldn't you say that's a rather belated diagnosis?
Well, I'd fix it now if I could, but I can't think of anything to do that wouldn't land me in jail, too.
Obviously, that's not a viable alternative. Look, please understand that I'd like to give you a consultation this evening, but that's impossible.
Yes, I do. I do. And I know you're being wonderfully patient with me. I just want you to know that I appreciate you, but I need to know that you've forgiven me. Have you forgiven me?
Well, certainly, although the incident remains very clear in my memory.
Forgiven but not forgotten.
Precisely.
Roger, how long is this going to go on?
Excuse me one moment. Honey, look, it's one of the residents asking for help, and I can't hang up on him, okay? Look, I'd prefer it if you didn't have to handle this by yourself. Is anyone else on duty?
Polly's in Europe. Nah, there's nobody here for me. Actually, I don't deserve anybody. I'm a pretty rotten person, Roger.
Categorically untrue.
Oh, sometimes.
Look, I must say that I find that approach both self-indulgent and very dangerous.
But I am. You don't know.
On the contrary, look, in terms of personal experience, I am uniquely qualified to render an opinion on that subject. Like, a thought just occurred to me.
Like what?
By any chance, could the consumption of alcohol be a factor here?
I'm not drunk, darling. I have had a drink or two, but believe me, I am not drunk. I just have a guilty conscience.
Well, under the circumstances, I'd say that's appropriate, but not the end of the world.
I love him, and I hurt him.
May I make a suggestion?
Please.
Look, you've had a long day. Why don't you try to get some sleep and just take another look at the situation in the morning?
And will you come by to see me then?
Yes, you can depend on it.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you so much.
Hi, Mama.
Kimberly.
Surprised to see me?
SoapNet's breakfast in bed just got supersized. Now you can enjoy breakfast in bed all day with the OC, One Tree Hill, Beverly Hills 90210, and Gilmore Girls. Every Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on SoapNet.